to the Q&A live with me, Leigh, your host. I'm going to turn that light down. See all of my imperfections right there. How's tricks, everybody? Very nice to see you. I'm just going to put that back a little bit. You seem a little bit zoomed in right at my face. Either that or I'll turn that light right off. That's better. That's better. Yes. Nice to see everybody. Has everybody had a good weekend? It's been a good weekend in our household. We've got the keys to our new house. But more importantly, what happened with your weekend? Got a couple of comments already. So we've got James in saying good evening, Leigh. And we've got Stealth Black T4. That's Ash, I think. Says, hey Leigh, Motivate saying hello, hello, hello. And Dan Longhurst is saying, yo, brother. He's been telling me all week he's going to be tuning in. So it's really nice to see him live as well. Yeah, how are we all doing? What have you been up to this weekend? We have had the craziest of weeks. Obviously, last time we did a live with you guys, I was in Germany. Germany or Poland? Poland. We were in Poland last time I spoke to you. We did a live from there. And I had a stinker of a cold, if I remember rightly. So that was all the fun. No, it was rotten. But managed to shake that off pretty quickly. We drove the 1,000 miles home. Yeah, just under 1,000 miles home. It went without fault. It was wonderful. The little car did very well. Jumped on the train. Nothing really to talk about. It was really quite good, actually. So, yes. We've already had some people saying they did the Overlander show this weekend. Has anybody been to any events? It's been a good weekend for events this weekend. James has said, my T5 failed its MOT on Friday. Oh, no, man. What did it fail on? Is it stuff you can fix or is it something you have to get fixed? Stealth Black T4 says, I've been without my girl for 4 weeks as Chris at Mr. B's is working his magic. Oh, nice one. I'll have to pop down at Chris's and go and take a look. Motivate says, so many electrical questions, my dude. Gary Plumley says, welcome back. Thank you very much. And LN, yes, been at Overlander Stratford upon Avon Racecourse. Do you know what? That is not a show I've been to yet. I've been invited in the past, just not been able to go up. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff going on. We've got Chris Hart. He says, hi Leigh, how's it going? Is that Chris Hart who I knew from school? Unlikely, but it could be. Could be. Yes, so shows, events, camping. What have people been up to this weekend? As you may have seen by my little stories on Instagram today, we got the keys to our new house on Saturday morning. So this weekend has been all about measuring, sorting out the new place, doing some gardening, cutting the lawn, trimming trees, jet washing, all sorts of stuff. So yes, it's been a very, very good weekend. If you can tell, I might even have a bit of colour on my cheeks because down on the south coast, it was really, really, really nice day today, actually. Yeah, nice day. Richard Kent says, spring cleaning the yard for summer. Good job. Yeah, spring cleaning is very much in the air. In fact, we did a couple of posts about cleaning your camper van today. If we've not got a video live, or we've not put a video up today, but it's a good opportunity to go back and watch previous videos. We have over 200 videos on YouTube. Dan Longhurst has said, while I'm here in hospital, I've been watching the live stream with Goodwood members, which I should have been working. Oh, Dan, I'm so sorry to hear, man. Yes, young Dan is in hospital watching from his bed. Bless you, my man. Cannot wait to see you back on your feet. Adrian Johnson says, evening, Leigh, with you this week. Missed you last week. I'm sorry to hear, but good to have you here. And Dan says, congrats on the new house, lad. No, thank you very, very much. Thank you. I do like having a chat with all you lot. It's really, really good fun. Very quickly, I'm going to have a beer tonight. I have a Polish beer called Castellan. Picked up a couple of beers whilst we were over in Poland. So I thought I'd crack one open tonight before we get down and ask some questions or answer some questions. Looks like we have our first in from James. Oh no, that's his MOT failure list by the looks of it. Right, here we go. I'm no beer expert. I don't know what they taste like, or I couldn't certainly give you a review on it. But cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you've had a good weekend. Yum. Cool, that is nice. I've not had that before. Very European. Very European beer. So James says his MOT failures are rear bushes on lower arms. We had to do that on the 2KT5. Track rod end, had to do that on the 2KT5. Drop links, we've done that on the 2KT5. CV boots, not done yet. Rear number plate light, yes, we had to do that too. And a couple of other bits I'll sort myself at some point. Good stuff. So not a massive list, so that's pretty good actually. Flying Benny says, sorry I'm late. No worries, my man. No worries. We've only been going 6 minutes. You haven't missed much apart from some sort of intros, which is not a problem. R1H1. He's been up to some bits and pieces by the looks of it. He says, battery replacement on the wife's car, garden mode, tailgate threshold replace. Oh, it's Ross. Of course it's Ross. He has a different Instagram handle and a YouTube handle. So, Ross says, battery replacement on the wife's car, garden mode, tailgate threshold replaced on the T5, and swamper mouldings removed before insurance repairs. Yes. Nice work, my man. Nice busy day. Motivate says, congrats on the new crib. Thank you very much. And then he comes in, he says, so I've been looking. So this is first question, everybody. We've got 25 of you in, 6 likes so far. Thank you so much. We're 7 minutes in and just about to hit the first question, which is always good. So get ready with the like buttons whilst we go and answer some questions. So I've been looking at getting a DC to DC charger. What is the difference between isolated and non-isolated? Very good question. It has to do with, I'm going to have to probably find a textbook answer for you, but I believe it's something to do with the ignition live. So isolated being you have to, isolated meaning you don't need the unit triggered by an ignition live. Non-isolated meaning you need an ignition live to trigger the relay or to trigger the DC to DC charger. Isolated meaning you do. I will need to double check that. Yes, I'd have to have a look at the actual terminology for that, because normally we only fit one type over the other. But I'm sure it's something to do with the ignition live. Maybe somebody in the comments can correct me or at least confirm what I've just said. Oh, James has come back and said, oh, on corroded brake pipes front to back, corroded where they join at the back. Oh, man. I thought T5s were normally quite good for brake pipes because everything's under belly pans. R1H1 says, oh, that's Ross. He says, are you in a new place now? No, we're gonna do a couple of weeks worth of prep and then we're gonna move into the new place, which I cannot wait for. Adrian Johnson's come in and he says, strip the front end on the T5, replace the injector loom due to leaking, and a rocker cover gasket. Nice job. Yeah, that's the problem with the T5, isn't it? If you want to do any work, you've got to completely remove the front end. Luckily, it's not too difficult a job, especially if you've done it before. But yeah, to do anything on the engine of a T5, you've basically got to remove everything. They should have brought back the T4 system where you lift out the front griller. That's a brilliant, brilliant solution to a problem that they had there. Russ104 says, evening, I actually made a live one for a change. Thank you very much, Russ. That's very good. Thank you very much for joining us. Richard Kent says, I have a VW van and going to spray with colour bed liner. Covers all mistakes. I've seen it on vehicles and they look great, ready to camp. Yeah, do you know what? We have used Raptor extensively in the past and we have done maybe 3 videos. We actually went up to the U-Pol Raptor headquarters, which is actually near Santapod Raceway. Can't remember the name of the town now because I'm crap with names. We went up to the headquarters and we actually learned how to properly apply Raptor. I mean, it was in a paint booth environment, extract fans and everything else, so it's not necessarily what you're going to be doing at home, but we then did spray one of our vans in the workshop as well. So that was good fun. So if you wanted to check out a couple of those videos, please do. Adrian Johnson says, "Oh, and he's removed the dash to cure rattling, soundproofed while I was there, and recolored the dash black." Man, you have had a busy, busy weekend. Is that all on your drive, my man, or do you have a workshop? Ross says, "Shout me up for help." Do you know what, Ross? I may well do. I was looking at Luton or low height vans for rent, so yes, I may well give you a shout for that. Cheers. Oh, by the way, comment down below what you're drinking. Has anybody got a beer on? G&T, vodka tonic, whiskey and coke. What are you drinking tonight? I'd love to know. Dan says MOT is booked for next. Is that week? Had to leave it with Dad whilst I'm in here, and it's stressful. Haha, she's my baby. Dan, yes, we do need to chat further. We're going to be working with Dan on Dan's van. We haven't confirmed everything that we're up to just yet, but we will be working on Dan's van, and we may well be covering that in a future episode. Chris Hart says, no, not the same Chris Hart, methinks. For you, he says, I have wheel arch plastic trims on my T5, but they are coming unstuck in places. He says, what do you recommend to use to stick them back? Tried 3M double-sided. Funnily enough, R1H1, or Ross in the comments, he has just had the same problem. He had the arch plastic trims and all the lower sill or swamper trims, and the glue just wasn't sticking either. If you are having problems, like, are these arches a permanent fixture forever? Or are they just something for the time being? Because what I would suggest is the 3M tape. It does like a good surface. So a good wash will do, but what you really need to do is get some degreaser or panel prep on those panels as well. Maybe even thinners to clean off any maybe remnants of polish or wax. So what I would suggest is, or even keying the area, nothing too harsh, maybe even just like a red Scotch-Brite. So what I would suggest you do is offer up the arches and then tape, mask off round where you would be sticking that 3M tape. Then you know which areas to clean or maybe which areas to key up to give whatever tape you use. 3M's very, very good. 3M tape isn't just one type. There comes 3M double-sided adhesive tape comes in lots of different types, much like Sikaflex comes in different types of strengths and properties and things like that. So have a look for a really good, strong 3M tape. Maybe not get it from Amazon, maybe actually look at the 3M catalog and see what they would use. Maybe not necessarily 3M, but just a very good, high-rated, sticky or double-sided tape. But yes, tape off the area, really thoroughly clean it, really thoroughly degrease it. Like I say, maybe even use thinners, maybe even use a bit of red Scotch on the bodywork where you want to apply that tape. And then once you've fastened those plastic arches with the double-sided tape, maybe even clamp them for a time, rather than just sort of sticking them on. Clamp them on. Dan actually has come in and just said, could you use some bonding too with that, or is it too aggressive to stick them up with? Yes, you could use a bond. A lot of people choose not to because that really does make them permanent then if you're using a bond. But yes, absolutely, you could use a bond such as a Sikaflex, a Tiger Seal. Some people choose to use silicone because it is fairly easy to remove. You could use that. It's entirely up to you, but I think cleaning the area, prepping the surfaces, and finding a good tape is a very, very good start. Right, next question. Motivate. motivates in. He says, I also bought a fat 200-watt foldable solar panel. I want to start charging from my balcony. I'm wondering what kind of Victron solar converter would be recommended. There are so many. I would recommend a Victron MPPT controller. Something like a 20 or 30 amp would suit you down to the ground. James comes back and says it's the bit where they join to the back on the bracket, probably the worst on the list. It's actually brake lines, yeah. Ross is drinking a Red Bull. Simon Creasy says, sorry I'm late, guys. Had to open the red wine. Cheers to you, Simon. Motivates says, sparkly water tonight. Trying some new tonight. Mushrooms. Adrian Johnson, all on the drive. So that all of the work he's done on his T5 is on the drive. AXD 2.5 engine, so inlet manifold had to come off to access the plastic cover over the top of the rocker cover. Oh my gosh. G is in. Evening all. Good evening, G. Nice to see you, my man. And Dan Longhurst, yeah, he came back and said, could you use some bonding too with that, or is it too aggressive to stick up with? I guess you can stick it up with anything you want. It's just how permanent you want those arches to be, for example. So, yes. Yeah. Moving on before we have some other questions. Oh, we've just had Ems in. MZ12, good evening. She says, welcome home. Silver Fox Build says, evening, folks. And G is drinking. I want to read that like a medical name, Tamnavulin single malt, but I'm sure it's Tamnavalin. Tamnavalin single malt tonight? Is that how I say it? You'll have to phonetically put that out for me, G. James has come in. He says, have you ever used Lanagard? Is it any good? Do you know what? I haven't used Lanagard. Now, Lanagard are on some huge marketing push at the moment. I've seen Lanagard all over my Instagram, all over my Facebook recently about how amazing it is. I think Lanagard is a very, very old product. I mean, the brand Lanagard is a very, very old product. And yes, I believe their marketing has just hit the roof recently, and now everybody's saying Lanagard is the greatest thing. I personally have never used it. I've only ever undercoated vehicles in a clear or black wax oil or Raptor. So I have no experience with Lanagard. Maybe I should get in touch with them. Maybe we should do the underneath of the 2KT5 or Bully or one of our other projects with Lanagard. Who knows? Would you like to see that if I was to do a how-to with Lanagard? I think that would be quite good fun. New person in saying, is it Leanne, Sydney? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Says, hi, new to the game. I've bought a T5.1. What mileage would you advise getting the timing belt and water pump changed at? My mileage is 93k. Thanks. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it. With regards to your question, if it's very good practice to have the timing belt and water pump changed anytime you buy a new vehicle. Mainly because you don't necessarily know the history, and if there was a history provided with the vehicle, you don't know whether that is true or accurate or whether the dates are right, whatever it might be. So if it's at 93k and it hasn't been done already, get it done immediately. If it was done at 50k, you know, that could have been 50k 12 years ago, that could have been 50k last year, who knows? I would recommend that you have a qualified mechanic look at it, see their professional opinion on the condition of your existing cam belt and water pump, or you just have it done, get it booked in with a trusted garage and get it done immediately. Just because then you've safeguarded yourself then for the next 50 to 100,000 miles, whatever the recommended mileage is on a T5.1 cam belt for that engine. So yes, go ahead and get that booked in, I would recommend. Maybe shop around, get some prices, but always go with the recommended garage. Maybe have some suggestions for some friends, at least when it comes to engine stuff like that, people who will maybe warrant or guarantee their work for sure. Ems says, oh, Tamnavalin. Okay, cool. Dan says, and Lanagard is an undersill. Yes, I believe Lanagard is a coating almost like a wax oil that you put under your chassis. It converts rust. It has a waterproof property that would deflect dirt and grime, and it's almost like a cavity wax under sealant that you'd use for your vehicle. Gary Plumley says, I'm about to fit a Chinese diesel heater. I know about the pump noise, but is the heater itself noisy? And what's the best way to soundproof the heater or enclosure? Is there a risk of unit overheating? Well, for a start, I do not advocate a diesel heater, but that's my opinion. I know there's 100,000 people out there who have fitted Chinese diesel heaters with good results. As long as you've bought it from somebody, hopefully UK based, that you can return the item or at least track your shipping, whatever it might be. But just be wary of a Chinese diesel heater, be wary of the fuel lines that it comes with, and maybe have a look at changing the hardware for it immediately, because I know some of the hardware is not the best quality with regards to Chinese diesel heaters. In terms of soundproofing, again, I don't really use them, but I'm sure they're as noisy as the rest of them. Diesel heaters generally aren't silent, but I would suggest any enclosure you put it in is big enough to conform with the guidelines on the instruction manual. I don't know them off by heart. I don't know the requirements all the way round, whether you should enclose them at all. But they certainly need to have enough space around them for cooling. But I would refer to the manufacturer's instructions on that. If it's underslung, it should be IP rated, and it may not necessarily need a cover around it at all. Richard Kent, I hear Raptorliner is the best. I think everybody's got an opinion. I would suggest you take a look at it first, get some feedback from other people. I really like Raptorliner. Some people don't. James says, you should do, then I'd find out from a trustworthy source if it's worthwhile. Oh, are you talking about the Lana guy, James? Yeah, I should do it. Then he says, yes, you should do. Then I'd find out from a trustworthy source if it's worthwhile. Motivate says, do you recommend going to VW dealers for a good job for a timing belt, or is it way overpriced? Personally, I have never used a dealership for any of my cars, for good reason. A, it's hugely expensive, and B, they're just mechanics at the end of the day. I have a lot of mechanic friends. I'm not a trained mechanic, by the way. I keep saying that. So when it comes to things like that, I always hand that work over to trusted mechanics. And luckily I know plenty, so I can have the work done. But a well-regarded, trusted garage, it's worth paying for, let's put it that way. We recently had some work done to our BMW. It actually had an engine management light come up on our way to Wales. This is like a year ago, 18 months ago now. And the garage that carried out the work in Snowdonia, they were approved by all sorts of people. It was a very good garage, and they used only BMW parts, etc., etc. So yeah, an approved garage, and they were part of a chain of nationwide garages that all use each other for parts advice and work, stuff like that as well. But yes, always worth going with a trusted mechanic. Not necessarily VW. I know people have good and bad things to say about dealerships, but generally the prices are huge. But you do get the stamp in the book, I guess. Response to that, Leanne. Is it Leanne? I'm so sorry. They have said, thanks for the answer. I was told it was never done. Thanks for the advice. Keep the great videos coming. You are more than welcome. Daniel Pierce. He says, hey all, just started converting a T5. Should I put sound deadener pads and thermoliner down on the floor before I put my ply floor down? Daniel, I would recommend Dodo Dead Mat Duo, or Duo Liner Pro, it's now called. You can get it from our website on its own or as part of a bundle. If you want full instructional videos, have a look at our YouTube channel. Maybe just Google Coombe Valley Dodomat or Coombe Valley Insulate Floor, and we will tell you exactly how to do that, my man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing as you suggested, doing sound deadener pads, then Thermaliner. However, there is a product specifically designed for that, and that's the Duoliner Pro. Simon Creasy, he says, just done first carpet fix. That 4-way you sent was spot on. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, Simon. Just waiting for your panels to arrive. Next job is to prep the floor, have the sound deadening already. Should I ply between the ridges? That is entirely up to you. It's a question I get a lot. Obviously, we've done a video in the past about screwing directly to the floor. Not a lot of people like doing that, or it's about a 50-50 split. There are people potentially that do ply kits that go in between the ribs of the floor. When it comes to attaching floor to your camper van, you've got lots of methods. However, 2 are the most favourable. One is screwing directly to the metal. The other is laying battens in between the ribs of your floor. Then you can sound deaden between those. And then you'd attach the battens, bond them on. So using a Sikaflex or a Tyke Seal, bond them to the floor. Sound deaden and insulate in between using the Duo Pro, and then screwing your floor down onto those battens, making sure it's all level and sweet. Reading comment. Where are we? Flying Benny. I've just carpet lined my white custom with Gran. Awesome. And then he said, oops, didn't mean to send that. I hope your Gran was a good help. Simon Creasy says, looks like Daniel just beat me to the same question. Where is it? Yes, absolutely. Flying Benny, oops, didn't mean to send that. Tony is in. Good evening, Tony. Nice to see you, my man. Always bringing a smile to my face. Good evening, people. Some good questions already asked. I'll be replaying what I've missed at the end. Lovely to see you. Russ, I got in a loop this week finding replacement sliding door rollers for my T4. Neither Heritage or Just Campers have bottom rollers in stock. I can find eBay specials or a £50 German unit. Any advice? If you need one, get one. German units, obviously you get what you pay for, should last longer. I've fitted eBay specials on customers' request in the past. I've had no problems, but don't expect them to last as well as a German unit. But if you need to get yourself out of a pickle, of course, go and get yourself an eBay one. They may even have them on Amazon. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I need a bottom roller for the 2KT5, and I've been waiting on Heritage to get them in. So you've got 29 people watching. I've only had about 4 comments on what you're drinking tonight. I have a Polish beer tonight. Is that backwards for you, or is it just backwards for me? Can you see that writing? How would I pronounce that, Dom?
Castellan.
Sorry?
Castellan.
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 Castellan. Castellan beer. Is that a good beer, or did I pick up a crap one?
Cheap.
Oh, cheap. Tastes a bit cheap, to be honest. Right. Where are we? Right, Silver Fox Builds. He says, check out Alex Frood on Mispronounced Adventures YouTube channel. He has loads of info on Chinese diesel heaters, how to service silencers, new fuel lines, etc. Yeah, how to service silencers. See, that's the thing. You buy a cheap diesel heater, but then you've got to do loads of work to get it up to par with others. You know, personally, I quite like having a branded one that I don't have to service, don't have to look after, don't have to buy new fuel lines for, etc., etc. You know, it's why we don't sell them. Daniel Pierce says, thanks for the previous reply. I'm also trying to design my own electrical system at the moment. Can you recommend a source for learning what size cables, fuses to use? 12 volt and 240 volt system, hopefully. Generally, have a chat with James over at Rain Automotive. There's lots of Google guides, excuse me. But if you do have any questions about cable sizes, maximum route lengths and all that sort of stuff, there's some very, very clever people on YouTube. There's James at Rain Automotive. He's very, very clever. Maybe even have a chat with Silver Fox Builds. Is that right? Yeah, maybe even have a chat with Silver Fox Builds. He's a very, very knowledgeable guy. Maybe have a chit chat with him as well. There are lots of people out there who know far more than I do and are huge experts on all of these things. I love knowing good amounts of some things, little amounts of a lot of things, but I'm no one expert in everything, that's for sure. So have a chat with James at Rain Automotive, I would recommend. Where are we? Flying Benny, I've just lined my white custom with graphite grey carpet. That's not with your gran then. With graphite grey carpet. Any suggestions on hiding the white metalwork on the doors other than painting the inside? I don't want to carpet where the seal sits. Right, now this is a question we get most weeks about carpeting your van. I will give you a very quick 2-minute rundown on how to carpet the inside of your doors. So, if you open your tailgate or your slider or your barn doors on your van, cut a piece of carpet big enough to leave maybe a 6-inch gap around the area that you need to carpet. You then carpet the inside of your door up to and over where your rubber seal will be sitting. And that means in the window aperture, everything else, make a proper finish all the way around, really, really nice. Then once you've done, close the door, preferably on a good day, good weather day. Close the door completely, close the doors completely, leave them from anywhere from 2 hours up to overnight. And then when you open the door, you should have a depression in the carpet of where your rubber has pressed against. Yeah, where the rubber has pressed against it. Now, so if this is your door, your rubber has made a depression in the carpet all the way around. So you've carpeted your door, you've got a 6-inch overhang or excess all the way around. You've now closed your door, got a depression of the rubber on the carpet. Now using fresh Stanley blades, cut. So if this is the depression, where am I going to do it? If this is the depression of your rubber on the door, cut 1/3 into the carpet. 1/3 maximum, which means your rubber seal will be covering 2/3 of the door with the metal, and your carpet lining will be up to the 1/3. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. So when you close the doors, you will have a nice seamless edge running up to the door rubber as you look at it from the inside, but from the outside, the rubber has got rubber on metal contact, which should maintain, or which will maintain, that rubber seal against the metal all the way around. So that's how you would carpet a door. And then, like I say, you use the knife blade all the way around, get a really nice clean crisp edge, leave it for a little while before you then remove the glue with like a brake clean or something like that, because if you were to try and remove the excess glue straight away, all you'll do is soften up that edge, and then all the carpet will start peeling away. And don't spray the metalwork if possible. Spray a microfiber towel, soak the glue, or let the brake clean or solvent be absorbed into the glue. It'll soften up and then you can rub it off. Your main aim is to keep the carpeted edge unaffected by solvent so it stays stuck. Maybe that was 3-4 minutes worth of explanation. My head seems a little fuzzy when it comes to explaining that sort of thing. So yes, that's how you can cover the white metal areas with carpet. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if it didn't. Silver Fox builds. He's on Lemsip today. Oh, that's not good. Dan Longhurst said, it's good for us, lad. Right way round. Oh, so you can. Yeah, see, it's backwards for me, but you can read that writing. That's good. Flying Benny says, graphite, not gran, fatter fingers, no specs, and autocorrect. Sorry. No, I get it, man. I'm just pulling your leg. Jack Burrell says, when's the new episode coming for the 2K T5? I need my fix. We are filming, more than likely, 4 or 5 episodes this week. So we have... I'm not going to tell you the subjects, but we have loads of videos coming up this week. Plus, we're going to try and make it to Heretics this week. Who's going to Heretics? Put your hands up. It's the Heritage Park Centre meet down in Seaford? Shoreham. At their headquarters. We go down there, have a cup of coffee, hot dogs, have a good chinwag with everybody who you haven't seen over the winter months. It's a very, very good meet if you are down this way. Loads of questions today. This is awesome. David Evans. I'm carpeting my VW Caddy. Some twonk has used silicone when fitting the previous ply lining kit. I've removed most of it. Should the contact adhesive work even if there's a small bit of residue left? Yes. What could help if there is some silicone left is using a blade, sandpaper, because if you're carpeting over that metal, using an abrasive to remove the remnants of the silicone should not be a problem. And your adhesive will be fine either side of that silicone. So yes, not a problem at all. If there's remnants or at least residual bits and pieces of silicone, it shouldn't be a problem. Motivate has come back and said, you've missed some questions, buddy. Let's have a quick look. Let me go back. Yes, I have missed some questions. My mistake. There's so many questions today. This is good. Daniel Pierce, I've done. Flying Benny, I've done. Richard Kent. If you are insulating your van, use lamb's wool. Will not mould and will not let moisture through. We generally don't use organic materials for insulating vehicles. I understand people have had good results. However, we have fantastic results with the recycled plastic bottles in the form of thermofleece from Dodomat. I have converted or recommissioned or restored hundreds of camper vans, and I've seen all forms of insulation. I still can't say it. Insulation used in vans. Loft conversion type insulation, lamb's wool type insulation does get wet and does hold the moisture. On older vans especially, water gets in, settles in the bottom of the panels, the insulation used soaks it up and then rots out. I know from a fact, because I've used it in 100 vans, that the recycled plastic bottle stuff in the form of thermofleece does work and does work wonderfully. Dan Longhurst says, Leigh, non-technical question. What's your favourite style theme on a van? Swamper, overland, slammed, etc. Well, thank you for the non-technical question, Dan. I like a bit of everything. I think I like a bit of everything. It's like my music taste, really. I don't have one favourite van style. Because I've owned a lot of vans. I've owned T4s, T5s, Type 25s. I now own a Bay, but that's a secret. I've owned all types of Type 25s. I've had synchros, slammed, panels, multivans, coach builts, all sorts of things. I kind of love it all. I'm loving the Swamper at the moment because it's such a good, comfortable ride. But if I could have any van, I do love a slammed van. However impractical they are, having a slammed wagon is cool. I love having a slammed car. We've got some projects coming up. Who knows? Maybe they'll be really slammed in the future. But good question, by the way. Right, have I got all the missed questions? No, Motivate says, I have a Victron solar charger connected in the van and I have a Victron solar charger connected in the van. Am I also able to connect a separate battery pack into the input to imitate a solar input? I have many spare e-board packs that need a purpose. an MPPT controller is designed to regulate the voltage coming in from a solar panel. So solar panels can generate anywhere from 12 volts up to about 24 volts DC, and the MPP controller is there to buffer and regulate the voltage so it's a steady 12.7 or 13.2 or whatever it's set up as to go feed into your battery. So you probably won't be able to just hook in another battery pack into your solar panel feed. On the output, yes, but not on the input side, no, because they are designed to work with a solar panel. The input terminals for an MPPT controller are designed for ferruled solar panel wiring. So an MPP, you wouldn't be able to put another form of input into a solar panel controller because it's only designed to work with solar panels.
Love. Can you give a shout out to Steve Moss? He cannot log in to chat to you.
Steve Moss. Where is how has he contacted us? Sorry, I've got Domi on the back benches here. What was this?
Steve is the one that came to come
Oh, Mad Mossy. Okay, so Mad Mossy, good evening, my man. Apparently he can't log into the live, so he's just got in touch via social media and he wants to shout out. Oh, by the website. So we got your message, Steve. And sorry, we can't see you this evening. My gosh, there is lots of questions. We're at 41 minutes. I better not dilly-daddle anymore. Okay. We've done the Lamb's Wool, done the Fave Camper, done Motivate Solar. James, your discount code for Heritage came in parts. Your discount code for Heritage parts came in handy on Friday. MOT parts, thank you very much. Awesome. Yes, if you didn't know, we have a Heritage parts discount code. So if you were to quote Coombe Valley 10 at the checkout when you have purchased something from Heritage, you will get 10% off. It's not site-wide, so you couldn't go buy an engine and get 10% off using our code. Terms and conditions do apply. However, most things on the Heritage Parts website, you will get 10% discount if you enter the code Coombe Valley 10. If this was an edited video or I was really clever, I'd put something up live on the bottom. However, I can tell you it's Coombe Valley 10. Going through the comments again. Have I done them all? Yes, Dan Longhurst, good for us, lad. Flying Benny, talking about his gran again. Silver Fox Builds, Lem Sip, Jack Burrell. When's the new episode coming for the 2K T5? I need my fix. Yes, next episode is next week, but we should be filming loads this week. David Evans, I've done that one. Daniel Pierce says, okay, thanks very much. Paul H, Red Stripe for me. Man, I miss a Red Stripe beer. I fell in love with Red Stripe beer at Santa Pod. Put your hands up. Who else fell in love with Red Stripe at Santa Pod? Silver Fox Builds. Oh, he's retracted his message. Alex Ranouf says, I'm late. Well, it's good to have you here, my man. GWG says, is the 2K T5... Sorry, my battery's just flashed something up. Oh gosh, I've lost you all. Where are we? Come on. Is the 2K T5 going to be ready to be slept in at Campers and Coffee? No. I mean, it will be if I throw a blow-up mattress in it, but generally it will probably be used as a van for Campers and Coffee. Yeah, we're a little behind, but it will be there. Flying Benny says, thanks, Leigh. Makes total sense. I wasn't sure if that would leave a clean enough edge on the carpet. Yes, fresh blades, Flying Benny, fresh blades. Silver Fox Builds. Explorist Life YouTube has fantastic charts on their website regarding cable sizes, MPPT controllers, solar arrays, wiring diagrams. That's where I head most of the time. Just need to convert the US AWG size. Fantastic advice there. Thank you, my man. See, I knew he'd know the answer. Ems has said the sound of those cheap beers are affecting your speech. Yes, I think they are. I've had, what, a third? It's been a long day. I've been in the sun all day doing my gardening. Dan Longhurst says, as long as it's done well, you agree on it. Absolutely. Russ104 says, I've got to scoot. Bedtime reading requested. I'll catch up later. You all have a good one. Tar for the info on door rollers. No, you are more than welcome. Nice to see you. That's if you're still here. Always lovely to have people in, but I understand family first. Dan Longhurst says, we'll have fun working on the 6'5" slam van together then. Dan, please put up the name of your charity. So if people want to look up at what you're doing, please leave a link down below in the comments, or at least if people are interested to see Dan Longhurst's van, Dan Longhurst's charity, and why he's doing what he's doing, Dan, please leave a comment down below so we can send people your way. G says slam bays are cool. They are sick, G. Absolutely. We'll be rolling together one day. Marie Patterson just started out conversion project on Vivaro and thinking about electrics. It baffles me. What are thoughts on portable power stations being used as like a plug and play? Again, it's a very popular question at the moment. I really like them. I've not actually used one, but we have used them in vans and we've worked on vans with them. I think it's a fantastic idea. If you head over to Transporter HQ, I know or the Transporter HQ YouTube channel, they are doing a lot at the moment with these battery power pack things. And most YouTubers are at the moment. I see lots of people on YouTube being sponsored by Bluetti or EcoFlow or whoever it might be using these packs. Maybe I should get in touch with one of these people and give them my thoughts. Taxi driver says, at last I've logged on. Good evening, Leigh. There he is. There's Mad Mossy. Taxi driver, thank you very much and welcome. Good evening. Bumblebee the Crafter on tour. How long would you allow for going to the lakes? Andy. Andy, I've never camped at the lakes. Who has? Anybody in the comments camped at the lakes? How long would you allow to go to the lakes? I would love to. As you may or may not know, my wife and I and my family, we're big fans of walking. We spend a lot of time in Wales, but we're yet to go to the lakes. Sometimes I think it's just a little bit too far just for the weekend. And normally when we go on longer trips, we like to go to Europe. However, that is a very, very good option. Motivate. I was told my sliding door isn't as smooth as it should be. What's the best remedy for such a situation? Check out all of your rollers. Check out the bearings on the rollers, if they're in good condition, if they're still there. Sometimes you might not have a roller there. The roller on the 2KT5, for example, totally missing on the bottom one. It still rolls, but it's certainly not as smooth as it should be. So if there is a problem, and I do the same with T25s as well, if you can, take the door off, or at least take all the rollers off, clean, re-grease or replace, and then clean all of the runners as well. Bumblebee the Crafter on tour says he's on a road trip at the end of May to Newcastle, then travelling down to Van Life Festival. That sounds epic. We are currently planning our summer trip. We don't quite know where we're going yet. We'd like to go to Europe again, so I think we're going to do another whistle stop tour. I won't say it too loud, but I'd like to take the kids to Euro Disney this year, and I believe there's good campsites. So if anybody's done that, camped near Euro Disney, leave it down in the description. I don't think I can afford a 3-day trip, but maybe a day at Disney. I'd love to be able to take them just to show them what it is. Right. Dan Longhurst. So everybody who's watching, there are currently 36 of you. We've got 14 likes. I would love you all to give a like right now. If not for me, it's for Dan Longhurst, who's in the comments right now. He has just put his details up for his charity. I'll read it out to you if you can't see it. Dan says, so I have cystic fibrosis and my van is a street-themed charity T4, mixing charity work with a clean street-style van. Look around with a street-style van look around raising awareness for the condition. So, Dan, what was the name of the charity as well? Thank you so much for letting us all know. We've actually done work with Dan. We helped carpet his van in the past, and we're working together now to help Dan finish his van. Dan basically isn't because of his conditions is not physically able to complete his van any longer. And sadly, it's one of the reasons why he's in hospital at the moment, because he's recovering. I believe it's from COVID. Is that right, Dan? So I'm getting quite emotional now talking about it. But yes, Dan, we are ready to help. We still have things to sort out. But yes, if you could leave the name of your charity, Dan, and then we'll get people looking for that. So like I say, there's 35 people watching. If you could put a like on the video, if not for me, it's for Dan Longhurst. And then if he leaves a website down below, or at least the name of his charity, please go and check that out. That would be wonderful. M says, only camped at the lake by your workshop. Yes. G's come back and says, the lake's about 6 hours depending on traffic. And the vehicle, says M. Brilliant. Justin Tipler 1. After your video on using the hand steam cleaner, I now have one and looking forward to using it prior to sound deadening the floor before my van comes to you for a fit out. Justin, do you know what? I can't believe I didn't own one before. We're just prepping our place now before we move in, and I'm definitely using the steam cleaner on that, because there's just things like around the window frames and stuff, you know, like double glazing window frames. If I could blast those with the steam cleaner, saves hours of scrubbing, right? So I look forward to that. My gosh, we're at 51 minutes already. You guys have kept me busy today. This is awesome. Look how much I haven't drunk of my beer. Aha, Tony's in. He says, just got back from the lakes. It's been my go-to since my teens. I can suggest a few places away from the crowds. Brilliant. So who is it who asked the question about the lakes? My mum, Bumblebee the Crafter on tour. Right, so you and Tony, get in touch in the comments, or maybe get in touch on Instagram. And yes, pass on that advice, Tony. That's awesome. And I might have to have a chat with you, because I've never really done the lakes. Paul H says, tried out Maguire's air refresher after a bit of a camper van tidying. Smelled okay before, now smells like new. Nice advice there, my man. I'd like the sound of that. Ems has left some hearts for Dan. G says, hope all is good, Dan. Be good to see you about again at show season. Yes, absolutely. Brilliant. So, cystic fibrosis charity, Dan. What was the name of your charity? Did I miss it? Hang on. 6'5". 6'5" slam van. I'm going to have to Google it. Crikey. Wow. What a busy one. We have 7.5 minutes left, people. Oh, here we go. Dan's just got back in, and he says, just giving link for the van for once it's... Hang on, just giving link for the van. For once it's back up and running. Plus I work with the Cystic Fibrosis Trust and closely with Shane at Scarface and Glenn at VWT magazine, raising as much awareness as we can. Yes, and we'll be doing exactly the same as well, because it's a good charity, and Dan has done amazing work. Again, despite his condition, he is one of the hardest working people I know, and it's very, very good of him to be able to do what he does. And he's been looking forward to this live all week. Like I say, he's currently in hospital right now, watching live. So if everybody could give Dan a bit of love, leave some hearts out for Dan, that is awesome. Oh, right, 6.5 minutes then. So we stopped this at 9. If this is the first time you're here, good evening, welcome. I'm Leigh. This is Coombe Valley Campers live Q&A. We do this every Sunday between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. Generally, people come in, have a good chit chat, ask questions. We love having you here. We love answering your questions. We love everything about this little group that we have every Sunday, and it's really, really good to see you all. The only thing I do ask, if you can, it's a minimum requirement, or there's no requirement at all, you don't have to do it. However, if you're able to leave a little thumbs up on the video, you can either do it down in the comments, but generally if you can find the thumbs up button around the video screen that you're watching right now, that would be absolutely wonderful. If I could get that thumbs up count to about 30 right now, I would love that. However, it's not the end of the world, and it's just a little thank you. It's just a little bonus for me if we get those likes going, which is really, really good. Anyway, Dan Longhurst is back, and he says, so all the money goes to the Cystic Fibrosis Trust via fundraising through me and the van, plus amazing people like yourself, Leigh, so thank you for changing my life, bro. Oh, mate, I don't think I've changed your life. However, if I can help in any way, shape or form, I really, really will. It's always good to work with people as good as you, my man. So Bumblebee the Crafter on tour says, see you next time. Night night, folks. M says, big up to the campers and coffee. Yes. So there we go. Definitely live. Dan couldn't reply immediately just then because he was having meds attached to him. Bless him. So yes, I want to say thank you everybody for tuning in. We've got 5 minutes left. Before we go, what have you got going on next week? Are you camping next week? I know it's the end of the Easter holidays, but maybe people have saved their Easter leave up and are going away when it's quiet and the Easter rush is over. We are back to work. Like I said, we've got lots of videos coming up, lots of filming. There's Heretics Meet this Thursday. Oh, what else we got going on? Lots going on. Did you catch the new merch? Have you seen the new Campers and Coffee mugs? They are, my wife Dominica designed those. The logo has been designed by local designer Pen and Pringle. She has done a wicked job on the new Campers and Coffee logo. We love it. There's mugs, there's going to be t-shirts, there's going to be totes, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. We may even be doing some bespoke chopping boards and some coasters and all sorts of stuff like that as well. So really looking forward to seeing you all in June and then September for Campers and Coffee. David Evans has given us a little thumbs up there. Adrian Johnson, how are you finding part supplies? Everything I seem to need is out of stock with no ETA. That is an Easter thing at the moment, Adrian. We have had the biggest nightmare with shipping and supplies and everything else in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Easter was our busiest time we've ever had at Coombe Valley Campers, and that's in terms of work and the shop and everything else. And we have been let down left, right and centre in terms of supplies and shipping. But it's down to a huge influx of orders for everybody. Everybody needs camper van parts now. We need to send our stuff now. We've been let down, but we are trying our hardest and darndest to get everything out to you as well as getting stuff in. So I sympathise, my man. Yes, parts are low, supplies are slow. We just got to stick it out, my man. Motivate says mushrooms have kicked in. Nice. Good job, my man. Have yourself a good evening. Ems is going to see Kevin Hart at the O2. Lol. Oh, mate, I'd love to see that. G says, more work and body work on the bus. I have about a year's worth of sanding and prep to do now. Not camping till CNC, unfortunately. We'll get it done, my man. We've got to do that workshop weekender. Even if it's the weekend before Campers and Coffee, we'll get it done. Marie Patterson, need to get order for medium van bundle for sound deadening and insulation, and hopefully weekend we'll be busy doing that. Awesome. Yes, please place your order and we will get it out to you as soon as possible. Ems says, have a great week, Leigh and family. See you soon. Flying Benny says, cheers, Leigh. Have a good week. Everybody, it is fantastic to have you here, like I've said before. Like I say, we've got a very busy week moving forwards. Lots of filming, lots of prep, lots of shipping. We have got probably about 3,023 orders, I think. It's a ridiculous amount of orders to prep. And we've got one guy down this week. So it's Dommy and I. So if you receive a package from Coombe Valley Campus this week, it will be either myself or Dommy or both of us packing it. We love doing the personal packing for you guys. And that is me being completely honest. We do love it. Flying Benny says, cheers, Leigh. Have a good week. Motivate. Have an epic week. Dudes and dudettes. Much love. Woohoo. GW says, have a great week, CVC and everyone. Dan Langhurst, bro, now serious question. When we seeing a CVC and late break show or Mighty Car Mods collab? Do you know what? I would love that. I don't think I'm in that realm yet. However, I do have one contact with Johnny Smith. It's Johnny Smith, isn't it? And I do have a contact for Mighty Car Mods. They are my favourite. They're one of the reasons why I started YouTube. I'd love to do a collab with them one day. However, we're a tiny weeny channel and they have millions of subscribers. It would be fantastic if we could, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds? For now, I'm very happy just serving you guys with what you need. Paul H has given us a thumbs up. Adrian Johnson, cheers, Leigh. Wife just come to bed now. I must go. I will leave you to your business, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining us. Dan Longhurst, bro, would love to see a Johnny and Leigh special. How funny would that be? James says, have a great week. Adrian Johnson says, oh no, not in that way. Tony has given us a thumbs up as well. Not a thumbs up, but a hang loose. Lovely to see you all, people. We have 13 seconds. That's just enough time for me to say good evening, thank you very much, and we shall see you on the next Coombe Valley Campus video, and certainly next Sunday on the next live. And in the meantime, we have over 200 videos to help you build your camper van on YouTube. So go check them out. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.